Hello everyone and welcome to another match of the 2024 Roulette Rivals World Championship. This time late in October 30th, we have a Group A match between Deadly Muffin and SovietDubov. A bit of a last minute cast here, so not super familiar with the stakes here, but I think we'll be able to figure that one out as we get closer to the start and get through these maps. I know already that this is Deadly Muffin Man's final question mark. I did want to say that this is gonna be his final match, but I'm seeing that he's on 5 matches, so he may have... Yeah, he's yet to play Crescent. So this is Muffy's 6th match, I'm sorry. But the 3rd one today, that's definitely sure, because I have seen both before. He's played Alex Hiller and Hausen earlier today. Did not score any points there, but so chances here against Soviet on these 3 maps, which will be Hokkaido, Santa Fortuna, and then Colorado at last. While it's not seeming too likely that Muffin will advance from this group, and I think that is guaranteed by now. Soviet's group stage is a lot more interesting. I will talk about it a bit more between maps. For now, we'll have this Hokkaido spin, the only spin today, which is not from week 5. So hopefully going to be a quick one, but maybe not with these disguises. Although, maybe not too bad. Eric Soder's Poison and Stem Cells as the Chief Surgeon, and Yuki Yamazaki's Sniper Rifle as a motorcyclist. It's the motorcyclist, I should add. I hope the sound is fine. I hope everyone is doing alright as we get starting on this Group A match. I think it's one of 2 Group A matches at the same time. No, actually, the other match is Red Sox vs TK47. It's from Group G. So we had some housekeeping out of the way. We already have Soviet loading in. The Surgeon start, and obviously one sensitive item in hand. Should be the syringe. No, it's the blue egg. Won't be a huge difference anyway. I know that with the Trank, the Chief Surgeon can sometimes ragdoll in a way that he's seen immediately, but not with the syringe and not with the blue egg at least. That is also in, but with a quick restart, sorry, we'll be getting this sedation as well, and they both have Chief Surgeon very early on. This is a unique kill for soldiers in that it can be done remotely or right away. I can remember other spins where it would be more worthwhile to do it remotely. I think it's just a fair approach to go for it straight, and Soviet does, and at 52 seconds in game time he's already got the first kill out of the way, as that Muffin is doing something similar. It doesn't have the stem cells yet, so he will have to go all the way around, and perhaps it is going to be a replan. Muffin does need a poison, which he doesn't have right now, but has the blue icon there, indicating that he should have one in the morgue. Although if all else fails, you can ruin the stem cells with any poison, and that includes the red poison you can find in the garage. Muffin is going a bit of a long way around, perhaps buffering this disguise, or maybe grabbing the Fugu fish, since the agency pickup has to be the sniper rifle. Process of elimination. Ooh, big push for Soviet, who now approaches the second target. And there was a bit of a discussion in chat. Aquarium would be the fastest way to approach this one. Oh, but Soviet needs to jump. Oh, yes, NPCs both down and up, and Muffin couldn't quite get to the kitchen. And we'll be replanning, switching key hackers to the poison. A risky choice in isolation, but I think this spin kind of forces you to... Well, of course, as I said, it doesn't force you to bring any poison, it just helps and it's handy. I think Soviet solved it with blue egg and regular poison. I'm not sure about the pistol, but of course a sniper pickup. And I think Muffin is ending up with a similar loadout. So as I was saying, Aquarium would be the fastest way to solve the spin, probably by about 30-45 seconds. With its own risk factors, of course. If you are not super familiar with it, or just cannot get Aquarium consistently down, then you probably just start to look towards Sauna as the plan A, and Soviet does that, which obviously he hasn't finished the spin yet, but he's looking fairly good so far to finish in 5 minutes RTA, which does win a lot of Hokkaidos. It won all the Hokkaidos in 2020 and 2021. Of course, back then Sauna was the only way to do this spin, and then of course Emetics came and all the different strats there. Muffin's replan, and that is the, I can't pronounce it, but it's the fatal, obviously the lethal poison, fatalomide or something like that. And I've already missed if Muffin pulled out the stem cells, but no matter what, he's really close to getting this kill now, just as Soviet is getting this second one. Couple ways to get this kill, and especially if Soviet doesn't have a key hacker. Oh Soviet, this is hostile. Oh, and he cannot get inside. Yes, it was. This is going to be difficult. I'm not saying it's gonna be guaranteed, because yeah, bullet distraction. It's gonna be a huge save from Soviet if he can do it. We have to keep an eye out on the minimap, because Yuki does have two guards. And after a while, one of them will come. Oh, that was sketchy, and I think he's calling in the weapon to someone. Still scouring that minimap. He just needs to be fine for 10 more seconds, whoever is coming for that gun, or not coming for that gun. If he's just a bit slower and Soviet is a bit faster, then it seems that he can exit. It's not gonna be 5 minutes, it's gonna be 6-17, but still a solid first try from the Speedy Sloth, apparently. Didn't know that that's his gamer tag on Xbox, but that's the map win. And Muffin was in the fight as well with the soldier skill down, and it's a question whether this is Aquarium setup for Muffin, but I'm not seeing any motorcyclist disguises yet. I think we can fairly imagine that he would have been sort of ready for Sauna, but he's definitely practicing Aquarium, which is nice to see, and hopefully he gets to play it in a future spin. So that's the creep map out of the way, and now we go to the big five. First up, Santa Fortuna. Still 3 minutes until that. Yeah, I do want to switch scenes. Just let's look at what the group is currently, because this is a big evening for Group A. Of course, this is a match that they are playing, and another one will be played in just 30 minutes or 1 hour. Looks like it's gonna be at the top of the hour between Crescent and Woolcat, but Crescent and Woolcat are two of the players who are in the fight for 4th place, but it seems that after checking these matches a bit, I think Soviet is definitely in the fight as well. This is the group of Frodi and Timecube, and they are, well, not certain, they are fairly likely to finish 1 and 2, and Hausen also seems to have a gap in points ahead of everyone else, so he's the favorite to finish 3rd. But Soviet is on 3 matches and 9 points, and we have to compare it with Crescent on 3 matches and 10 points, and Woolcat on 6 matches and 18 points, so twice as many points as Woolcat, but twice as many matches played as well. So while it seems that Soviet is in the distance, far away from Woolcat, the 3 extra matches that he has on hand, one of which is against Muffin, and And Soviet is ready to play Alex Hiller. So if he can beat Alex as well, that's 17 points at the minimum and 21 points at the maximum. If Soviet sweeps here and sweeps Alex, that's 21 points. And he still has to play the Time Cube and Crescent. So there's a potential Soviet versus Crescent match where either one of them, or maybe both of them, can beat Volcat for 4th place. A few more matches until this clears out, but I think we can see certain lines developing. I was a bit afraid that I would talk longer than the 3 minutes, but luckily we kept it short. 22 seconds until Soviet's pick of Santa Fortuna. Yeah, Soviet is 4 for 4 in picking Santa Fortuna, so as I've listened to the Time Cube a bit earlier, he's expecting SF to pick against him, and that seems like the pattern. So Santa Fortuna number 4 it is for SovietDubov, and Santa Fortuna number 1 for Deadly Muffin Man. It is Rico Delgado Scissors as the barman, Shotgun as Street Soldier for Jorge Franco, and Andrea Martinez Explosion Accident as a chef. Nothing loud, nothing live. Okay, Explosion Accident is loud, but don't mind that usually. And of course it's an accident. The Jorge disguises chest passing on Coca Fields, but obviously that doesn't super matter. But otherwise I'm seeing 3 village disguises. Currently I'm blanking on potential best start, as Soviet is starting subcrew that is entirely viable because it allows you to get 2 kills by the time Rico walks down the stairs. 3.5, 4 minutes and 2 kills down. And I mean, the shotgun is not specified to be loud or silent, but you can steal loud shotguns from many places. I'm also wondering if there's an angle to perhaps start in the bar, get the barman and set up Andrea with a propane flask, thinking and knowing that you will be in the mansion anyway to get a chef. I'm not really seeing that route just yet because you have to piggyback for the Street Soldier anyway. So I think Soviet has the right decision and made it fairly quickly. And that will involve an Andrea setup and probably kill with a propane flask from a construction site or the fishing village. Plenty of options there. Scissors is in the barber shop right across the street from Andrea's compound. And I can see the silent shotgun in the agency pickup at the construction site near default start, so a lot of the spin will line out and line up for Soviet very nicely. Wonder if he has a blue egg right now, because that would help him a lot. Yeah, I was worried about it a bit, but at least Soviet figures this one out quickly. Has the blue egg though. Decides not to use it currently. Looks like a full-on replan that might throw a branch into his plans, and Soviet is going mansion stuff start. It's exactly what Deadly has planned for a minute ago, so let's stay with him for this attempt. What might this mean? Of course, it does mean a Rico isolation fairly soon. Doesn't really give you a propane flask, but once you exit the mansion and go back to main start, you can pick up the agency pickup as well as a propane flask. So Not that big of a problem. Muffin will have to restart again.
You need to be extra careful around.
And Soviet decides not to grab the chef, which Muffin was eyeing. Not a huge advantage in getting the chef, of course it would be a bit of a help. I did not think that Rico would go for that throw, that is why I stopped there. It's a good isolation and gives him plenty of time to jack him out of this room. Of course, one of the elites, mention guards will loop inside this room from time and time again, but that is going to be future Soviets' problem, who will now go back down for the same chef. Going to be a bit tight on timing. But then I start to think about the Andrea kill, which if you wanted to do it with a drive-by, then you cannot be late for her, since you probably even want to be outside for her. I think it's just a hypothetical because I don't remember Soviet repanning for a breaching charge. And also, he's at 140 right now. I think he can definitely make it to Andrea. I'm not sure about making to Andrea with the propane detour. 45 seconds to go. We have one parallel match that is casted by Sparkles. And we can see that David Red Sox is up to 4-0 lead against DK47. I think I can... I hope, yes, that's the perfect, that's the correct shout out. The other match is casted there. Muffin had a replan after, sorry, it's a restart from Muffin after the roamers that I talked about entered the room where Rico was in. So it's basically the same situation which Soviet could avoid. And Soviet did make it to Andrea. Few seconds to spare. But very nice routing so far. He even has the propane flask. He definitely has a silenced firearm. And he's placed in a very advantageous position because you don't need to place it any differently. Andrea is in a good place as well. Just 2 more shots. And that should be kill number 1 for Santa Fortuna. I think there was a slight chance that could have been a frontal KO, but the Street Soldier is fine as well. Propane flask explodes. So that is the first kill and decides not to take the Street Soldier. Of course, a lot of Street Soldiers to get from this village, but I feel like that was kind of Soviet's plan. And I'm also not really remembering if he picked a scissors already, but that's also something that you can salvage in the Coca field. So I guess it's going to be entirely Rico second. And then exit the mansion again and grab a Street Soldier and grab your agency pickup. With newer developments, we now know that you don't necessarily have to hide this barman, but I think for peace of mind, I would keep doing it for a long time. As Muffin just cannot get this chef. It would make his spin a lot easier, so hopefully he gets it right in a couple tries. I think I've seen him distract and panic, maybe even body shot as well, so it's kind of unfortunate that it's not working out for him. But this means now Soviet has a 5-minute in-game time lead over Muffin Man. Soviet will be making his way to the sports car, where Rico is laying down. It's not going to be straightforward since both of the mansion guards are still up, and the sound, I think the waterfall is very loud, but I can tell you that the sound is not the best in the mansion, especially not near Rico's office as well as his garage. But let's see how Soviet can salvage this one. I think for safety he will be dragging him a bit further away, because this will definitely result in 1 or 2 question marks. See, you don't even have to open this door. Bit scary, but looks like that's hidden. And, well, not hidden, but that body is secured, and he will be hidden soon. As Muffin gets... Ah, I thought he gets a peekaboo as the chef, but it was barely found trespassing. Still could work out for him. With a... Rico got disintegrated. But that punch worked. I'm just afraid that the security will soon come in, but looks like Muffin has time to drag him away. Very nicely done. Soviet is now 2 kills down, and will make his way to, of course, the agency pickup and the simple street soldier choice of his. Could be the very same one he hid right before the Andrea kill, but I can now see that was mostly for safety. But the way he's looking with the camera, he's looking straight towards Andrea's compound, and I think that might be the choice here. Little obstacle here is that this civilian is an enforcer to street soldiers, so cannot mindlessly hop around this brick wall, I guess. I'm not seeing the instinct, but luckily... Oh boy! Oh, and it gets found! Oh! I was so afraid of this. It was basically the last thing that Soviet could rip to. Of course, still the whole emetic isolation and kill for Jorge, but it's the one challenge that comes up pretty rarely, I would say. Like, of course, once in every 5, 6, 7 spins. Probably even more rare than that when you have to exit Andrea's compound as a street soldier. Just such a bad disguise, only because of that enforcer. So it is going to be disheartening for Soviet, who...
Did you hear Javier stole the love letter Hector?
We'll have to do the entire spin all over again. I'm not even sure if he really has any other place to optimize, or if it's worth optimizing. Probably just best to do your thing and get to that 7-minute in-game time with 2 kills down and street soldier once again. So another restart on Soviet. Which puts the lead to Muffin in some sense, sadly in not all senses, because it's not going to be a kill advantage. Muffin missed Andrea in this office. He also doesn't have a breaching charge, I'm almost sure of that. Which means that it's possibly second cycle, but Muffin has some ideas, and I mean, it's a bit of a crazy play, but you could also throw or place the propane at a very specific point and anticipate Andrea getting there. Not recommended for RTA matches, but it would surely look super nice. The bad news for Muffin is that whatever this is, he certainly triggered whatever this conversation is. I'm not really sure what this conversation is supposed to be. It's about Hector. It's between her and the guards. No matter.
Dirty job.
Considerable risk for Muffin, who is attempting to snipe this propane flask.
Need to be extra careful.
Maybe body shot is the first one. Target lockdown. Oh no.
Did you hear Javier stole the love letter Hector Delgado?
It's become a bit less likely to get this kill now. He's compromised. Well, it wasn't technically over. I think it's fair to restart now instead of like 3 seconds later. Unfortunate for sure. Perhaps Muffin could get away just isolating Andrea without the chef disguise and go back to her later. It just doesn't look like that. It will cost him a lot of time later this spin if he wants to wait for Andrea to come back, but it seems like a quick grab with green guns, and Muffin is so quick that it's possible that he would if you get the same bullet distraction or maybe even peekaboo. And opens one door, needs the wrench and throw at the wall. I'm just astonished that Rico here is so far away. But there you have it. That's corner subdue, and I think I've seen the two guards reacting to the throw, which means their cycle or whatever reset. Now I see why Muffin has so much time to jag Rico behind the sports car. And at 1 minute and 13 seconds, he has all the time in the world to just let go of Rico and go for the same propane as before. But of course Muffin wants to go safe. Oh no, he just wanted to go for the wrench for later. Muffin has good timing to make Andrea 230. The same timing that Soviet is attempting right now. Luckily it's not 230 or bust. Soviet will be there at 231 to 232 and is the same. But this one is really nice awareness from Soviet. Just waits out the extra few seconds until Paolo leaves the room and it's only Andrea in there. Not a single body that he needs to get rid of. That's the KO and surely should be in range. Yeah, 2 shots and Andrea is down at a very respectable 258 with Rico already isolated. Love to see the subsequent attempts from both players just getting better and better, more and more optimized. They are not required to optimize or improvise in any way, because short time for a long spin. If they just kept to what they know and just focused on finishing in 30 minutes, then that would be already respectable. But I see a lot of potential from both of these runs. So they're getting the second disguise, and now everything's gonna be so much earlier than the previous time, which could make a difference if, and I don't want to jinx anyone, I guess it's a reverse jinx, but if this run doesn't work out for Soviet, he still has 12 minutes to go. It's not quite 2 full runs, I feel like, but very close to 2, so a couple late trips would still not end his run. I missed Muffin, but I think he opted not to go for Andrea 230 again. No, that's Andrea, perfect. Way to go, Muffin, because it's gonna be probably the toughest of the 3 kills, especially with Rico already isolated, and Jorge Emetics is, at this point, it's probably the most straightforward kill of the 3. At one point I think everyone was afraid of the Jorge kills, but this one is an easy one at that. So, I think Muffin's first kill will come earlier than Soviet's second kill, but both are happening in the near future. But before that, Muffin is going to shoot the cameras, aim, and wait for the door to close. Prompt is not there, so there's the prompt. Shots there, recording erased. Oh, Muffin really should have crouched there, but maybe with his 6 frames per second, or 3 frames per minute, or whatever you want to call it, he got away without getting hunted from those guards. 1 shot and 2 shots to blow up the propane flask, and that's Muffin's first kill on this stunt. Fortuna, very nicely done. That's very nicely done by Soviet. I wanna hold my breath for a few more seconds because that was a crazy optimization. The peekaboo I don't like because that could mean trouble in a minute. If that peekaboo really got one of the guards and he slowly walked towards the statue and then towards the gardeners, he's probably still walking for a few more seconds, but there's a fairly good chance of red guns turning in 6:30 or a few seconds before that. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but the peekaboo was really scary. Soviet nicely separating the 2 guards as I keep holding my breath, and that's the peekaboo ending. Oh my goodness. Soviet does optimize at a lot of good places, but this one was a step too quick. And with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go, that is 1 more solid run. Soviet can definitely get, and I want to say Muffin can definitely get, because he's slowly but surely inching towards his second kill, and Jorge is isolated. Both players are now on a path to finish a couple of minutes before the 30-minute timer runs out, but of course Soviet really needs to get this run green all the way. And I'm not sure if this will make him slow down or speed up even more, because of course the nerves are there to produce a run, not knowing where your opponent is. And he does miss it now. 8:25 to go. And I think that's a substantial difference between a 9:10 final run and a 8:20 final run. That would make me nervous as well. I think that would make, apart from a few Santa Fortuna specialists, everyone nervous to pull out a last try run within 8 minutes. And especially loading times concerned, there is now less than 8 minutes remaining.
You need to be extra careful around.
Did you hear Javier stole the love letter?
I fear that Muffin doesn't have emetics. I would be really difficult for this spin, but he has the pistol, he has the shotgun, and he started a non-suit disguise. That was a durian, right? It was either a durian or a blue egg, but it's both. Okay, so Muffin can make this happen. I'm not sure if Muffin has the time to wait out the next 3 minutes of a cycle. But he could emetic him right here, right now. And that's the durian. This could be big for this spin. Needs to aim it correctly, needs to not lock on anyone's head, and Jorge's out of the picture. Oh.
You need to be extra careful around.
Oh, and he got caught. Oh my goodness, that was so close again.
Did you hear Javier stole
I
the
don't
love
want to
letter?
say if more frames or fewer frames help or hurt, but I don't think that would have worked on all of our systems. As Soviets run suffered another restart now. 6:25 to go. He started the run with 7:10 to go. I'm just trying to count it. 230 for the isolation, 250 for the chef kill. Then you become the barman. Get the scissors kill with no precautions at 4.5 minutes. Leaves you 2.5 for a Jorge kill. I still want to say it's technically possible, but it seems so awfully tight for Soviet. But he's still alive, he's still going. Meanwhile, Muffin at 9 minutes in. Somehow, someway got Jorge in the right bathroom. I did miss how that happened because according to the emetic map, that's not supposed to happen. But if Muffin gets this KO quickly or a clean shot, waiting for it to happen. I see no question marks from anywhere, no panics either. And the guards won't come near. You need to dodge these enforcers. But Muffin gets out of this area. 5:08 remaining and 2 kills down. This could be Muffin's first map win of this tournament. And whereas then his opponent's map picks Santa Fortuna. As the clock turns red for both the cast and the players. Tension is rising. Rico has been isolated. So now it's just getting to the bar, getting the barman, grabbing the scissors from the barber's shop, and a couple scary bullet distractions to get the Rico. And after the kill, definitely picking up the key, the sports car key. And that's gonna be Soviet's final run. I see why he had to risk it. That was so unfortunate from Soviet because he had the run. I'm not even sure where it did end. First one was probably the most promising. And of course the runs after he tried to make it quicker. Obviously it's a very reasonable thing to do 20 minutes into Santa Fortuna. But sadly it was just one optimization too many. So now it's all in Muffin's hands. 3:45 to go. This is right on the line. But this is mostly running in a straight line and very simple inputs. Turning off the fuse box. Oh, but it's gonna be a hit maps pause. Oh, luckily not a long one. Take the turn right. Went too far. It's gonna be this house. For Muffin to have the scissors on the other side of the room. Yes. It's 3:15 remaining. And before we get there, I need to tell you a horror story about late Rico Delgado kills. There were some cases where you finish the run, very late runs with the melee kills, and the exit just doesn't want to pop up, and it turns out that the player didn't pick up the sports car key and ended his run right there. Hopefully it doesn't happen to Muffin Man. I'm not sure, and I don't think he picked up the keys, but it's been so long ago that we'll have to see about that. That's the fuse box, and that's gonna be this guy's secured in 20 seconds, leaving him 210. He can definitely make it in time. Oh, I don't want to hype it up too much, but Muffin, such a goated caster and spends all the time in casts. He has 7 map ties, 7 points from a couple of previous tournaments, but he has no map wins. And this could be his first one if he can get this spin done. He is basically done. He needs to just run to the sports car in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. He doesn't even... Oh my goodness, but it's compromised by P-Power. No. It would have been in time. It would have been barely in time. And I just want to see Muffin just run there regardless. But this is going to be so devastating for him. The egg was actually his undoing. And I can't blame you, Soviet, that you were even hoping for him. It is tragic. He was so close on the longest and hardest map. 28 minutes into the spin and 11 minutes in his own run. Especially because we can imagine the rest, that with 2 minutes to go, he grabs the final disguise, he goes through the shrine, he goes up the pipe, the 2 extra distractions that he definitely done countless of times from suit start for the final kill and the sports car exit, but it's not to be in this spin, but perhaps in Colorado, of course. Another spin, another chance. Who would have thought that the egg was the one that trips you? Muffin. He says he cannot believe that he had it. That's true. He did have it. It would have been really tight. I'm probably overselling how much time he had, but I feel like if Muffin looks at the time, keeps it a straight line with sprints toggled on, then he would have made it to Rico with probably 15-20 seconds to go, but sadly not working out this time. But it will come for Muffin, because even if this is not the spin, and even if this match is not the one where he scores his map win, or the next one, I did mention it before, I think he's playing Crescent after. That's not for another few days, but it's getting so much closer and closer to finishing these maps. And the tough part about the RWC is that, of course, you have 3 maps to practice each time, but at the end of 3 weeks, you become such an all-rounder, but also jack of all trades, master of none, if that makes sense. And Muffin is respectful enough to always pick different maps. I see that Paris is double pick, but other than that, he's not a specialist. He doesn't pick the same maps. Otherwise, he would have had the advantage on that map against most of his opposition, and would have certainly scored a few map wins there. But he's going the hard way, the long way around, and hopefully, if not in Colorado or his next match, but by R16, he will get his first map and match wins. But then it's Colorado. Not getting any faster or easier. Still a map of the Big Five. And it was actually Soviet and R15 and Muffin yesterday, the 2 people who I showed this chart, that I think Mumbai is the map with the most timeouts, and of course the rest of the Big Five follows, but Berlin is nowhere near, so bit of a Big Four in that regard, but Colorado is a part of it, and many can tie. Especially on loud and live spins, of which there are more conditions allowed lately. That was scary for a second, but we have Sean Rose NTK of Fiberwire as the appointment, so no loud weapons or anything like that. Penelope Graves is Silence Pistol Scarecrow, also NTKO. It's a bit more tough that way. Ezerberg is Cleaver as Militia Spec Ops, and Maya Parvati Consume Poison in Suit. So it's I guess it's a pseudo suit spin, because you do need to start suit. Greenhouse is not gonna work out for Soviet, but I think he will realize it's enough. I guess there's always an argument to bring the Spec Ops closer to Ezra, so Orchard is not out of the picture, but I mean, I personally got burned by Orchard a few days ago, so I would absolutely start Westbridge for today and tomorrow and a couple more months. Don't have to at least get to Maya in the suit. The only 2 disguises which... Well, Scarecrow is a disguise, I don't mean to knock on it, but it's a free disguise close to the main house. The only 2 disguises that you have to make an effort to get are the Appointment and the Spec Ops, both in the same house, both with the same trip. So could work out with any of the with the sedatives as well. I did miss Soviet's plan there. I see that the silence pistol and the poison is in Deadly Muffin's loadout. Could be a good optimization, but Muffin's side that he doesn't bring the poison, but takes it from Ezra Berg. Luckily, he can knock him out. The only target of the 4 that he can knock out in this spin. It's not horrible for loadout anyway. You need the fiber wire, you need the silence pistol. Cheng does help, and Muffin's starting default. He does. It kind of makes sense to me now. For whatever reason, Muffin doesn't really believe is not a good word, but it doesn't really utilize the West Bridge and the main house starts. In previous Colorados, I've also seen him just focus on Maya and get whatever Maya kill down in 2.5 minutes, even if that means letting Ezra and Penelope leave the main house, which puts him at some disadvantage, but I would argue that in this spin, it's only the Ezra part which plays against him, right? Because Penelope you'll have to wait on regardless. Sean, there was no way in Earth that you could get quickly, although Shed does look like a good opportunity for him at the 3-minute mark. I think it's really only the Ezra part where Soviet is at an advantage right now. Yep, I was gonna say that as Soviet is looking to KO this first spec up. The other one will soon turn towards Soviet, and gonna go very safe here with the 2 KOs. One of the few spins where Maya 230 is not a factor, so he can take as long as he needs to secure these 2 disguises and probably enter the red barn as Pointman makes more sense. I was gonna say it doesn't matter which one, but it does matter. I missed the first scoring update, but this is big from the other Group A match. Crescent scores 4 points against Vulcat, putting him much closer to top 4 than Vulcat himself. And as I mentioned earlier, this match that I think Soviet does have a stake in this top 4 battle, especially if he finishes the match with 5 points. As Muffin did get into the red barn, but was trespassing at code by the Spec Ops as he was about to poison the glass, so just had to stop there for a second. So I think if Soviet gets 5 points here and another 5 or 6 against Alex Sealer, then Soviet versus Crescent will be quite a final match. But for now, it's only about this Colorado spin, and Soviet is focusing on Ezra at least. Checking, and that is the correct kill. Small side note about Soviet that he did ask before his match about the specifics of the hostile glitch. We did briefly went through that you have to be in a hostile disguise either before or after the change, and then it has to be in the basement, of course. So, but neither of these happened. Soviet could have maybe changed his elite, but absolutely doesn't matter. He does look good for this spin so far, even if he doesn't focus on... Well, there's little argument to go for Penelope at this hour, but Sean was a possibility. But this still works with a live kill at 6 minutes and a live kill at 7. And then, sadly, it's gonna be a live kill at 9 because Soviet has the poison in hand. And with this timing, it's gonna be the toughest because he's very close to Maya's timing. Let's see how far away my notes are, because I am interested in the Maya consume poison timings. I'm sure chat will be typing it faster than I am. For Maya, I have it 5:25. Or I guess 5:45 if Sean is still up, which... Oh no, Sean is still up, which means the realization just hit me. With Sean being up, he will be delayed with an extra conversation in the red barn, which means that he doesn't arrive at the main house at 6 minutes. He will arrive at the main house closer to 7. And look, who else is coming at 7 minutes? Penelope Graves. But there's, now that I think about it, there's no way for Sean to be limited in the house, because if you leave Sean up and poison Maya's glass or bottle, then Sean will have a small lockdown, which means that he will arrive at little over 7 minutes, I think. So it's gonna be difficult regardless. No priority on Maya poison, at least. And I really cannot tell where these dots are meant to be. If Soviet went to the minimap or the actual map for just 1 second so that I could print screen, it would help me immensely. But looks like Sean's dot is getting bigger and bigger, while Penelope still looks stuck near the greenhouse. There was a conversation that might have been triggered near the barracks for Penelope, which would be a blessing for Soviet. But it's really difficult to say. 3 red dots. The furthest away is definitely Maya in the red barn. But who wins the Tour de Colorado? They seem pretty close, sadly, but it's one guard, so it has to be Sean first. The hacker is at the bad part of the cycle. No, it's Penelope first. Oh god, no. Well, I guess it works out because Penelope doesn't check on the clock. Only Sean does currently. And the hacker is not on the bad cycle anymore. Gonna have to wait 1 more second. Oh, it didn't wait 1 more second, or I think he waited the 1 second, but not the 2. That hacker was the one that saw him. He was fully in vision all throughout, and even though he looked like he would leave the room already, he still peeked to the left, or I guess the right, if from our perspective, and so on Sean. I wanna say that this is a bit of a blessing for Soviet. The targets didn't line up nicely, and he experienced firsthand that getting both kills in the main house is something to be avoided with this pin at least, or at the very least he should poison the bottle, which I think he realized just late enough in the run that it made no sense. I feel like with better timings, Soviet can make so much out of his first 4 minutes of the spin. But moving on to Deadly Muffin for a bit, it was a really nice chest passing bottle poisoning. So once he gets back to the suit, he only needs to wait a couple minutes and he will have the first kill down. Now it's difficult to traverse in the suit, but it would still be the best for this spin to somehow make it closer to the barracks at least, because 2 of his disguises will be there. But with 90 minutes to go, if Muffin is putting all his eggs in the first try basket, and I wouldn't really blame him if he's stuck in his suit for 2 more minutes. Does not feel optimal, is not optimal, but it is the play that gets you closer to a Colorado finish. So it's Soviet now. In cover a bit.
Don't let this get...
It's the silent attack, sorry. And that's the Spec Ops disguise for the Ezra Cleaver. I would really love to see him go towards the red barn and poison the bottle, which... oh. Okay, this one doesn't say a lot because he's going for the Cleaver for sure. And then after, still the opportunity to do some other things. But it doesn't seem like it will be Maya poison. It will be a very late Maya poison then. Could still turn right, but he's not turning right, so gonna be a 2.5 minutes first kill. But with so much time left, I still wanna argue that he could go for Maya. He should go for Maya, and he very well might. Because he now knows that the next NPC or the next target to reach the main house will be Penelope in almost 5 minutes, so there's way more to do than just wait.
Cross your fingers that the damn thing.
This is different though. It's the same point man, obviously, but it's at a much better timing. I think Soviet might just risk it now. Well, from his perspective, it's a risk because I think he didn't go for the shed because he wasn't sure about the timings. But Sean spends another eternity in this technician shed. There would be the window for 2 KOs and the 5 wire kill. Perhaps still happen in a couple of minutes, but for now it's poisoning the bottle. No one is looking towards 47, so it's the Maya kill secured, which I have. Oh, now I understand that Blunt's timing is the 525, not the whole spin is the 525, although
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if someone did this whole spin in 525. It's gonna be a wrong kill for Muffin. Oh, unfortunate. Right after getting the Sean kill, but didn't make it back to his suit in time. He's aware, he's definitely aware. So, back to the main start for him. And a lot of waiting for Soviet currently. As we had the final update there, Crescent finishes a sweep against Vulcat, putting Vulcat's advance in jeopardy, and yeah, Crescent is now the deep favorite to advance from this group in 4th place. But back to this group, Soviet will be hoping to challenge this with 5 points. Gonna be about another half minute until Maya dies, and that will be 2 kills down. But what will be tough for Soviet is that I still believe that the Maya consume poison kill will delay Sean. It will delay Sean long enough that Penelope will be the first one to arrive again, and Soviet doesn't have a contingency plan, sorry, that's the word, for Maya arriving first. I would love to see him go to the Scarecrow after this kill, knowing that both targets are fairly far away. Yeah, it's not only gonna be a slower Maya kill, but it also will result in lockdown. I'm pretty sure it results in lockdown. You can see all 3 targets on the same picture, even if that means in instinct and in the distance. There's the animation, the picture, the kill was correct, and the lockdown happens. Alarms throughout the entire map, but these guards don't react, and that's the most important part. He's going for it as elite guard, but I think it's... yeah, he's only going until the Scarecrow. Oh, Muffins have a very sketchy moment in the red barn, but gets caught just passing in the end. Would have been nice to see him poison the bottle again, but it is certainly better disguised as a pointman or the spec ops. Big moments for Soviet now, as he barely but cannot bait Penelope to this beautiful clock, which keeps perfect time too. Two hackers in this room and Sean fairly far away means it's gonna have to be a bit tight timing, and it seems that it doesn't want to risk it as she's going to the desk and the whiteboard. Hello Moo, and also hello Sparkles from the previous raid. I think now all the matches are finished except for this half spin remaining, which will be the end of day 13 maybe? Yes, tomorrow is day 14, because we started on a Friday. Hello Scruffled as well. The 10 FPS briefcase throw for Muffin Man never gets old. It was if someone has a million frames, then I think you can see some clips from Throat that he just lets go of the briefcase and he keeps flying forever, and it's the opposite for someone with no frames. I guess it just teleports into someone's head. Very quick recap about map number 2, which I think was one of the closest Santa Fortunas in a long time. 28 minutes into the spin, and after Soviet's final run has ended, who was himself pretty close to finishing. I continued after this kill attempt from Soviet. It was not heard by either of the hackers. One is moving away, and it looks like Soviet got away with this one. Just one kill to go then. And he will beat Sean to the box, which he wanted to be in. Oh, you know, he doesn't beat him to there. Oh my goodness. So yeah, very quick recap of the Santa Fortuna is that Muffin was 28 minutes in. He just needed the last disguise, the barman. Rico was already isolated near the sports car. And he threw the blue egg, not only dropped, and the thrown distraction made him seen changing into the barman. Oof, that's really not good timing for Soviet. The two roamers, we go through the main house one last time. And now Sean is gonna be at the whiteboard. And then he goes all the way up, so Soviet has one more opportunity to get this ISO. My backseating advice would be to... Oh, you cannot even lure him because it's fiber wire, sorry. I was gonna say that you can lure Sean into this basement, but what's the point if you can only get him to the stairs? I guess you could use the briefcase, but that's so much setup. Looks clear for Soviet if he makes the same decision here. Hidden by the door somewhat, and it's the same cycle for the two hackers that it was previously. He gets away with both kills and 10:27 in his run. And 9:40 remaining. Might just be it. Oh, but hostile glitch! No way, the hostile glitch. And he realizes at the very last second. He just needs to crouch all the way through. If you can get this in suit at the beginning, you can do this in another disguise at the end. And Soviet taking a few more seconds and finishes this Colorado in 20 minutes, 40 seconds for 5 points altogether. Nicely keeping his cool at the end. And as he discovered Colorado, he discovered a very nice spin. And all in all, a really entertaining match. It almost brought us Muffin's first map win. I really wish that happened. But still a nice 5-1. I think it's gonna be Muffin's first point this tournament. He is deserving of so much more. For his gameplay, as well as his casting and what he does for the community these last few tournaments. So hopefully it gets to happen in his final match or in his next tournaments. But yeah, we have the final score of the 5-1, which means that we can check out the group standings. And it is now updated with the unfortunate status of Deadly Muffin Man eliminated. 6 matches, 1 point. Yep, I said it previously, but he plays Crescent in his final game in a bit. Not today though, because this was Muffin's 3rd and final match of the day, which is insane endurance. But full look at Group A. This is actually the end of sort of the end of the day, but there'll be 1 match in 5 hours. I guess I'm just gonna... No, I think I can go through very quickly through all 8 groups just in a couple sentences. We have Group A, of course, which to talk a bit more in depth. So Soviet get up to 14 points after 4 matches, challenging Crescent, who's on 16 points and 4 matches. Crescent will play Muffin Man though, so it's likely for him to score 6 points there. Of course, no guarantees, but maybe makes sense to calculate with that. Vulcat being on 18 points after 7 matches means that he will not advance. That's like, obviously two of Time Cube, Crescent and Soviet will go above 18 points, so it's gonna be Vulcat out. But the group is still led by Hausen, 23 points after 5 matches. Of course, courtesy of more matches played than Froth, who's on 4, and Time Cube was on 3. But still a nice lead, which is likely to be converted into 3rd place, with of course a chance of something better. I think Hausen is still to play Froth and Time Cube, which, yeah, it's, save the best for last, I guess. No, I guess I don't want to steal so much time, but we have Group B, which is led by Observer on 18 points. Ahead of a 2-way tie, myself and Growry on 17. We all have 4 matches played, so it's definitely the tightest battle for 1st place we have so far. But the great unknown is Pijero, who's 0 matches played, 0 points scored. Likely to be around this level with the other top 3 currently. Scruffy has advanced from Group C already. I think the only question is if he's gonna finish 1st or 2nd, because 34 points can only be equaled and bested by Machete, who needs to score 11 points in 2 matches. He will play Camel and Cabin, so not easy opponents there, but I guess for the first time, Scruffy's fate is not in his own hands, although he did finish a wonderful 7-0 campaign. Group D has Phanium leading with 1 match to go, and that will be his final match later tonight. He plays Chris X3 there. Chris cannot overtake Phanium, but will really need some points, any points, if he wants to advance from these groups, because Linux on 21. Linux plays perhaps Zerun. I'm just gonna check it very quickly. Yes, Linux versus Zerun is the final match for Linux, and Zerun has another one against Mikulers. So that's 2 players who are themselves very likely to go above 22 points. Can they get to 24, 26? That's a different question, but so far it's pressure on Chris to perform tonight, sadly. As Luke is on 19 points after 4 matches, he's at the very least scheduled to go up to 2nd place, perhaps 1st if Phanium's final match doesn't go so well. Group E has 2 eliminations and I think 6 vying for 4 spots, definitely. Yanni with the almost perfect group stage so far, 23 out of 24 points scored. So he is 1 better than Reaper 47, who's on 16 points after 3 matches, which means, of course, Reaper has dropped 2 points, while Yanni has dropped 1, with, of course, them both playing each other. So a lot to be decided in this group still. I think none of these three have played each other. And of course, if someone has the best day or the best two matches, then any one of them could be the other two. It's currently Apricot holding on to 4th place, but Falcon has been really impressive and just 1 point behind, although with 1 extra match played, so looking a bit more difficult for him. Group F is the group of 7, but all 7 are very entertaining people, with Dean being 4-0. He's the only undefeated player from this group. And I think at this point, the most likely of the group winners, well, at least most likely to win this group, sorry. I didn't mean to compare with other groups. Kwati on 12, Ilak on 10, and Bafkai on 6. These are the 3 players on 3 matches played, which was important to remember because Osh is also on 12 points, but after 4 matches played, so in a bit of a more difficult spot, but still in 3rd place. Could this be his year finally? Para is on 9 points after 5 matches. That's probably the toughest position in this group. And Red Fox also with 1 win so far and 3 matches to play. Because of course in this group everyone will play 6 matches in total. Group G, of course featuring the Member of Parliament on 26 points after 7 very early games, which will be good for I think about 3rd or 4th place. Mu is by all means scheduled to advance in 1st. At least he's undefeated so far, but I guess there are no guarantees, and a couple of very interesting results so far. Of course, we've seen David take on TK earlier today or during this match. So those 6 points are added here, which put David in a much better position to definitely or likely advance rather. And then Group H, which featured Nezuko playing 7 matches so quickly. He ended up on 32 points, which will be good for about 2nd or 3rd place. More likely that he's gonna be 2nd, as Joker cannot overtake him anymore. He's played his 7 matches already. All eyes are on Music Inc., who's currently undefeated, although not perfect, with the 2 maps dropped. But feels like getting to 32 points is a likely one in this group from Music. I think Joker has just accepted his 3rd place, so yeah, that's gonna happen as well. Curry and Drommel are in fight for 4th. But also want to say Mika, who's 1 match behind. Yeah, I always keep telling Curry that I think it's a 3-way battle, not just a 2-way one. Of course, I would love to see Curry advance, but 3 wonderful people fighting for 4th currently. Any one of them could take 4th place. And I think these would be the 8 groups at the little over halfway mark. We have until next Saturday to play, which is 4 days left from this week and 6 days from the next one, so 10 days left from this group stage. And then we go to the knockout stage draw and the knockout stage, and it's 4 weeks of single elimination action. Going to be quite exciting, and it is flying by, right, Scruffy? Well, I think this... Thanks everyone who stuck around for this extra couple of minutes of recap. It was a good match to end this day on. And whoever is going to be around for the late night match in 4 hours and 45 minutes between Fenium and Chris X Lee will definitely enjoy one of the high level matches of Group D. And after that, the Halloween schedule begins with Zero versus Linux Penguin on Thursday, the 31st October. And after that, we will be looking straight towards November. And in November, many things will happen in terms of tournament lives staying alive or ending or elimination or advancement. So it will be a very exciting month, but so was October, of course. with that, I would like to say thank you everyone for watching. GG's to both players, and especially to Yanni for adminning this match. I did not say that at the beginning, but I can say it at the end. Surely it was Yanni, right? Such a smooth adminning that... Yes, it was Yanni adminning, so thank you, yeah. It was a good one from all sides, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.